Shalom all, Stacey the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your new moon musings for the new moon that happened on February 17th. And today we are at our final phases of this particular new moon. We're exploring the balsamic phase and the void moon phase today. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so the balsamic moon is happening on the 15th through to the 17th of March. And the affirmation here is I surrender. What energy can I lean into to fly free into this new version of me? What can I consider as I embrace this opportunity to know myself anew? And of course, we are pulling cards from my Mystery Dragon deck. And let's see what we've got. Oh, the Chariot. Okay. This is excellent. So this was our previous phase, the Six of Cups. And we got a lot of messaging and information around claiming your time, claiming your space. Now with the Chariot card is really interesting because the Chariot card is very fast moving. It is a card that says you are moving from one phase to another. I always like to say it's the suspension bridge from Island A to Island B. It's not designed for you to stay and live there for the rest of your life, but it is designed to help you to get to where it is that you're going. Not always with a ton of comfort or VIP, but it gets the job done. Also, this is a card, a really big energy of victory. And it's victory through beating the odds, through taking, polar opposite things and bringing them together for that level of success. So when we're talking about that surrender energy, I feel like this window of time is encouraging you to surrender to what is in your experience. This is not a time for you to I want to say to put a whole lot of like bulldozing effort. This is not a time to make things happen. This is a time to say, I'm going to let somebody else kind of lead the way. I'm going to let them be the person that, swipes all of the leaves and the branches and creates the path. I don't necessarily need to create the path at this time. I can follow someone else's path. I can follow someone else's lead. And in the following of that other person, I'm in a better position to be able to discern whether this is a path that I want to take or not. It's about, I want to say, like less is more. It feels like this is a time to not do a ton of the work. It's recognizing that the work has kind of already been done. This is now allowing the universe to bring you closer to where it is that you want to be. But in order to do that, you've got to be in tune enough to recognize when to, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. That's what this is about. The universe says, I'm willing to help you out. I'm willing to get you where it is that you want to go. But you're the one who's driving this bus. You're the one who says to me, I'm still in control and I want to be in control and I'm going to keep driving this bus. Or you're the one who says, okay, universe, I've put the wheels in motion. Now, please figure it out for me. Make it super obvious and super simple to me so that I don't miss when you're sending me the opportunity to accept what it is that I've asked you to manifest my way. Because sometimes we can be so driven and we get so locked in a box of what we think things are supposed to look like that when it shows up and it shows up in a different form, we aren't expecting it. And we can, very easily trick ourselves into thinking it's not what we need, but it's exactly what we need. And it's the universe presenting it. So I feel like the Chariot is really coming through to provide some help, some guidance, some support. But again, you've got to be in tune enough. You got to be, I keep hearing smart enough, and I don't mean to disparage anybody or to imply that, you have to have a particular level of intelligence in order to work with the dream team. That's not true. But I'm hearing that you've got to be smart enough, which means you've got to be, really connected to your situation and to self and source, and to know where you've hit a limit or where your, level of expertise has come to an end. And now you're waiting for the next phase so that you know what the next step is, whether it's something that you've got to learn or it's time to pass your information on to someone else in order to get to the next phase. That's what this is all about. So give yourself permission to recognize when you're a little out of your depth or when you've done the work. And now it's about allowing the universe to show you the results of what that is when you're doing the work. Sometimes these things take time. Now, I'm going to pull a dark moon card as well here. The dark moon or the void moon is not a part of the scientific phase of the moon. It is energetic in nature, but the void moon is I release. What can I release control of or walk away from, knowing it has served its purpose? How can I remain open to the new and the unknown in this process? This happens right smack dab in between this balsamic phase. So we've got the 15th through to the 17th. This is actually on the 16th. Let me just double check and make sure. Yes, I've got those dates right. So the void moon, the dark moon, is coming through with the 10 of swords. And it's interesting because we've had a lot of double ups in numbers. We've had 2 6s, we've had 2 7s, now we have 2 10s, we had 2 aces. So there's a lot of this repeat. We're being given the opportunity in this new moon phase to really say, I'm double checking. Yes, I meant it. Okay, I've got an opportunity to do the lesson over again, just to make sure that it sticks, that I'm completely understanding what it's trying to share with me. 10 of Swords is a complete ending. This is a kind of a phoenix card from the perspective of when you've gotten in your own way, when you haven't been listening to the universe saying, hey, this is done, this is over with, or you need to walk away from this because there's something new coming in to the mix. This is the universal frying pan to the head. When the universe says, okay, we really need to make a course correction. So, you haven't kind of been listening. So we're going to give you the universal frying pan to the head, or we're going to pull the universal rug out from under you so that you have no choice but to pay attention to what we're saying. There's no going backwards. There's only going forwards. Unfortunately, with the 10 of Swords, you're going to have some extra mess to clean up that maybe if you had listened prior, you wouldn't have had. But no crying over spilled milk. Just learn from the lesson now. And so I feel like you are going to be releasing this idea that I have to hang on so tightly to all of these other things. I feel like that's something that we really have been learning through this particular cycle, is there is support. When you do the work, you are going to see the results. And you don't always have to drive the bus in order to do it. The chariot energy is about, like, who does the work in the chariot? The work is the beasts. It's never the charioteer. The charioteer just kind of hangs on. Maybe the charioteer says, hey, we're going to go left here, or we're going to go right. But ultimately, the work is being done by the beasts, because the charioteer has already taken the time to train the beasts up, harness them up, and has taught them the commands. So when he or she says, pull to the left or pull to the right, they respond. So the work has been done. And I feel like that's what is really coming up. What you're releasing is this idea that you're having to, again, I think I said this in a previous phase, less is more. And this is just reiterating that, saying to you, you don't always have to do all of the crazy work, the heavy lifting. As long as you're doing the work as you go along, as long as you are present and focused and doing the work in those ways, then we're able to move you forward. Then we can support you and help you get to that next phase. You don't always have to do it alone. And I feel like that is what we're releasing, this idea that we have to do everything alone. We are in a time and a phase right now where we're focusing on community, rebuilding, creating something new, and learning to rely on things, people, places, and things in a very different way than we have been relying on people, places, and things in the past. So lots of shifts and lots of changes in that regard. All right, guys, so that is the balsamic and the void or dark moon phases for the new moon that happened on February 17th. It was great to be able to connect with you guys, and I'm going to see you very soon in another few days where we will be starting the next moon phase that's coming up, and I believe that is happening on March 18th. Can't wait to dive into that one with you. All right, guys, like, subscribe, click the bell. You know the drill. Check out my join button. I've got 3 different tiers of membership. We can keep the conversation going and go a little deeper. Until I see you for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, sending you lots of love, lots of support. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.